believe it. I am powerful. I am strong. I am successful. I am abundant. I am rich. I am determined. I am focused. I am disciplined. I am capable of anything. I am a powerful creator. I am limitless. I am. I am. Thoughts are powerful. Thoughts lead to action. Actions over time become habits. And habits lead to long, lasting results.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 14 of the Coach's Corner on the FFN Radio Network. Glad to be back. I'm glad it's Wednesday because we're here. I'm in front of a lot of people. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about mental and physical fearlessness. Now, understand what I've talked about before on here. I try to let you guys know that multiple things play a part in this. So we'll also be bringing back up mental and physical toughness. And the reason why I came to the decision today to talk about mental and physical fearlessness is because Coach, turn it up. Okay. Is that good? Better? I hope that's better. So the reason okay, better. So the reason why I sat back and had a week to contemplate, I have a whole list of guests that I do continue want to bring on here, but I felt it was a good week to bring myself back and sit here and talk with you guys about something that is really quite important to me when it comes to this particular topic. Because in my life, like I said before, I've been coaching in high school sports for so long, a lot of years. And again, this season, I had an opponent coach come up to me 2 weeks ago and asked this very question. He said, "Hey, coach, I know you just beat me and everything else and whatnot, but how are you so good at what you do?" And I sat back and I gave him the most blunt, open answer that I possibly could. And I said, "I can't really tell you how I'm good at what I do. If you follow certain steps in what you want to do and what you want to get better at, you can become maybe what I've become." I go, "I'm not you. I can't sit here and, tell you, this, I can lead you in the right direction." Like, I've even said on here multiple times. And it's crazy to me because I never really thought, or I never really took the time to realize how much of an impact I've been to not just kids, but to regular human beings. And so when I talk about the fearlessness part of this, and it brings up the example for this week. Typically on a basketball team, you have a roster of 12 students. During summer, because they do other things and do other activities and they're not in school, the commitment level isn't so great. I'll be their coach, but I've had a couple kids come to me this year and, "Oh, we only want to play in the game. We don't want to practice." And that's something very challenging for me to accept and to deal with as a coach, because if you don't practice and you don't put in the time, how do you expect to get better? And I was watching when I was finding a video, because 5 minutes before break, we're going to watch a video. But I was looking for a video and I watched something that Kobe Bryant had said. 2 days a week, because that's all the youth department gives me with these kids, is 2 days a week. You really can't get that much better. It's 3 to 5 to 6 days a week is where you see the improvement. But back to the fearlessness part, was having a roster of only 7 students is challenging, but also is rewarding, because I can now focus on just those 7 students, and I don't feel like I'm leaving the other 6 students out or shorthanded or stuff like that. So people always ask me, how do you stay consistent? How are you so, much a level-headed coach? And to be honest with all of you, it's not being about a level-headed coach for me. It's about being consistent. It's about, trusting in what I believe in, no matter who the kid is, no matter shape, size, color, pink, black, orange, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's the matter of, like I said, if you believe in the core values, and I brought this up here before too, about, and it all plays into something, and fearlessness, and what we're going to get into is the fact of, we were, I'll say it for example, because this is what made me think about it, is last week, it was a third quarter tie game. My team looked at the score and goes, "Coach, we're tied, but we're tied. The score was tied, but coach, we're tired." I said, "It's okay. You're tired. I expect you to be tired. There's 7 of us with 13 of them on a roster." And I said, "Well, who has an extra blow? Who can go for the next, because the quarters are 8 minutes long." I said, "Who can go for at least 3.5 minutes, and then I'll rotate and we can get through this." And if you stick with it, and you have that fearlessness of no one's going to push through you, no one's going to push you over, we'll win this game. And they're like, "You think so, coach?" And I said, "No, I know so." And again, this plays a part of mentality. And I was speaking to Blazeman briefly before we came on here, and to give you guys a what do you call it? An example. I'm not the tallest person. Okay, I'm very short statured. I'm probably, if best, I'm 5 foot, if best. On a good day, 5'2", 5'2.5". So for an average kid who's probably 5'6", 5'7", to respond to my message, okay, because keep in mind, I'm only the coach. Okay, I tell my kids I'm pretty much their cheerleader. But with my energy and how I approach the game every single week, every single time, and how I carry myself, and if you guys don't understand, I know I'm kind of going everywhere with this, but these are thoughts that are coming into my head right now. Is the fact that if you have the right energy to provide your team, they will do anything for you. They will run through a wall. It's just crazy because so back to the game, these kids come to me in the middle of the third quarter, and I call a timeout, and I bring them back over, and we talk, and I hit the reset button. I look in everybody's eye, and I said, "You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You're fearless. Become fearless. Have that mental toughness to push through and do what you need to do." And so after that game, we won the game by 3 points. It was tied going into the fourth quarter, back and forth game. They would score a 3, we would score a 3. And it was just really impactful to me I think it brought light to myself finally. And I'm 31 years old, and I've been doing this for 17 years. And I never in my entire life have really seen a message be answered like that. To me, it was just I was shaking for happiness. I was excited, of course, but the emotions were flying everywhere. And so when I talk about, now we want to talk about the physical part of fearlessness. So the physical part of fearlessness for me, like I was mentioned before about the approach of the game and stuff like this, I'm not the tallest statured human being, and it's crazy still to find out that there's so many people that look up to me for what I've done and what I've become and who the person I've become, and even the kids and even adults. I just, as a coach or as the person who I've built myself to be, I don't want to take the credit for it. I know I've done all these things, and it's just, it's, to me, it's, of course, it's not a prideful thing, but the physical part is, because like I was having a conversation with my dad on the way to this game. He goes, like I tell your brother all the time, and I'm going to tell you just the same. Go in there and kick ass with whoever you have. 5 kids, 6 kids, 7 kids. And I said, "Okay, Dad, I'll do my best." And so the physical part of fearlessness is, no matter what anyone tells you, no matter what anyone says to you, "Oh, do you think you can? Do and again, this plays in the fact of mental toughness too. is how you actually carry yourself. If there's something that's challenging you, in the audience, in life, rather it be, surviving one day, rather it be stopping a bad habit, whatever the case may be, try to find something where you can just psych yourself out, but with psyching yourself out, come back with something positive, come back with something super strong, and continue to strive for what you want out of a team, out of yourself. Okay. And I know there's a handful of people in here that could relate to some things. And I really, again, personally, I can't express how I carry it, how I do it, how I get these kids to respond to what I want. But it's something that I've been able to be successful at doing over the course of, I've been doing basketball itself for, 8.5 years. And to be honest with you, I never, ever would have thought a person like me and a person in my situation would do it. And maybe it's just all the extra mentors that I've had to talk to and conversate with, and help me be a good leader. And I think for me, that's what it comes down to, is just, again, like I've said, is the people around you. And more and more as I grow and get older and live, and this platform particularly, I'm really growing close to home. Like, if you guys have been family for forever and I just didn't know. And it today, or not today, but a couple days ago, it really humbled me to see those kids after all that emotion, and after they all came up to me and said, "Yeah, you were right, coach." And it's not the fact that I wanted to be right or I wanted to be wrong. It was the fact of changing their mindset and changing their wavelength to know we're going to go kick this kid or this team's butt. We were going to put our foot down and we were going to become individual dominant team and win. And it literally brought me to think of today's topic about the fearlessness. They became fearless. They became, I don't want to call it invincible, because nobody's invincible. I want to call it not, let's just say it, not afraid. They turned on a different light switch, and they just attacked them. They just, played great defense. Well, as someone else would say on the outside, things went in our favor. Yes, it went in our favor, but the reason it went in our favor is because our students and our players decided they wanted it to go in our favor. Um, and it's just so, I'm sitting here right now in chills, because thinking about all the things that I witnessed that day, seeing frowns turn upside down, like literally. And again, I don't really like to bring it to this level or this light on my show, but I will. For example, is this day and age of students, they are very emotionally attached to, a game or what have you. They like, I've struggled this summer alone, explaining to them that there's more to this game than just basketball. And yes, I know I instilled into them to always want to win, to always want to get better. But I've taken a step back this summer, and we're really focusing on the fact of building relationships with each other. Because later in life, these kids, if they stick together, if the friends that they have 10 years from now, they're going to call that friend and be like, "Hey, I remember when we were in that tight basketball game and we won by 3 because we did this and we did that." So I'm trying to also, on top of coaching a team and coaching these kids, is build relationships in between. So it makes it, challenge, everything. But and it's no excuse for anything. I'm not sitting here trying to throw out my, oh, this or that. No, and this is where, again, fearlessness comes in. You have to put everything aside of you, from you. Uh, Hello, welcome. I see a couple of you guys in the chat. I'm just glancing over there real quick. What's up, Snakes? What's up, Mr. B? Glad you're in here. So it just brings me to realization of the fact that a person of my, and it's not about the size, it's not about how I look, it's not about how I walk, it's the message you need to give either yourself, your family, or someone who could be in a situation of just having to figure out how to get through life. the mental toughness plays a role in that. To be able to, um, I can't think of the word I'm thinking of, but be able to, whatever the situation. I wish I could have a list of and maybe I should become or think about getting a degree in therapy or something, because more and more as I've you know been in this, just not this community, but the community in general, I'm seeing more and more people like struggling for advice and struggling for help. And maybe that might be my new calling one of these days, is just to open up something and be like, oh, here's a hotline, call me if you need, I'm not the problem solver, but I'll help you through your problem and fix you. But again, it's just the and more, I guess, let's go back to more of the physical part of it, because these kids were physically drained, not just mentally drained. They were physically drained, and they had the desire or the want to go get it, go after it. And that's what I've mentioned to several of you before, is just go after whatever you want. And so I know it sounds like a broken record, and I know it sounds touche or whatever these people want to say, but when that coach came up to me again, and I get it probably every other week or every couple of weeks, and they say, how can you get these kids now? Now let's take this for example. Everybody asks me how I'm good at what I do and how I do what I do, but think about it. The overturn of kids that I've coached in my entire life, to get them to have the same response, or same, not same response, the same um type of way to play or whatever. I don't know how I do that. I don't know if it's because of the way I carry myself. I don't know if it's because of the way I'm so hard on myself that it plays into them. But I have now, after doing 4 years of head coach, understanding the fact of the turnover ratio is crazy. And I really can't express, and I know people want to know, how do you win? How do you win? How do you win? Because I've had parents ask me, how do you win? I don't know how we just win. I don't think of any other faults to not win. And that's what you need to do in life, is win in life. You can win in life. Whatever it is you want to do, you can win in life. You just, like I was talking to Blazeman in his particular situation, you just gotta want to quit, or you gotta want to stop, or you gotta want to change your life. And it's just anything and it's hard for me, because it's like everybody's like, well, you do it. How come we can't do it? I don't know how you present your message at practice to your kids. I don't know how you design your practices. My practice, okay, for example, you practice how you play. Okay. Same thing in life. Rather, it's playing a video game, rather it's, turning on your computer and going to work. If you go to work every day with a great mindset of, oh, I'm going to get through work and I'm going to kick ass and I'm going to make money and I'm going to, provide for my family, then that's what you're going to do at work. But if you don't, and you come to practice or you come to your job all slouchy and you don't have your cup of coffee and you don't do this or you don't do that, you get out of your routine. Okay. You get out of your routine, you're going to have a shitty day. It's the same thing I tell all my other coaches that come to me and ask me, how am I so good at what I do? Because we practice how we play. We practice at a high tempo. We practice high energy. We practice with a clear mindset of just basketball. When somebody walks in my gym and they're having a personal issue, whatever the case may be, we forgo that personal issue. They say, Coach, I need to talk to you after practice. I have stuff going on. Okay, that's outside my gym. Everything, for example, and I know this is hard for people, that have jobs and can't do this, but this is another level of how I've been successful as I've been. Because if you want to be successful at, let's just say, basketball, because that's what we're into right now, when they walk into my gym, that door closes, everything else leaves them. Family issues, school issues, girlfriend issues, whatever, everything. And again, I don't know how I train them to be like this, or maybe it's the message I just send them and they understand. But I believe that's how we've become so consistent with our success as a team and as a group and as a family, because that's the bigger part of it. when that door closes, it's all basketball. Everything else in between basketball is outside that door. All that negative toxicity in life and what happens. Hello, Super Nick. Oh, okay. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Sorry, I get distracted with those comments, but thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting. And it's just something that, and I don't know. And my mom plays a big part in this. She's told me all my life, and to be honest, and she knows this too. It's my grandfather who plays a big role in it too, who's, unfortunately not with us anymore. And I think that's where I got the mindset to just, no matter what anyone tells me, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, regardless if it's good, bad, or indifferent. But if it's to change lives and continue to do what I do, I'm going to do it. And that all plays into, I feel, the part of the physical fearlessness, because if you can have a great mental toughness and do, these things, become fearless, become unstoppable. Look at some of the greats, Kobe Bryant, Lamar. They go to work. I'm going to bring up a point too. I was watching one of the videos before I sent the one that I wanted to be played today, and Kobe brought up a good point, is that he'll go out and party with you, but he will be at your door at 5:00 in the morning, knocking on your door saying, "Hey, I went out with you. Now you come out with me and practice for a game." So what I'm saying is, like, if they were traveling on the road to a game or whatever, he would go, party, do his thing and whatever. But he goes, "All right, well, I'm going to be up at 5:00 in the morning, and my entire team's going to be with me." And then he said something to the fact of, "Oh, well, they didn't make that mistake again of being out that late or whatever," because us as coaches, and not even Kobe as a coach, but he was a coach on the court. He got his players to respond to him how he wanted. And that's why I believe he was, and his teams were so successful, because he was that leader there for 20 plus years. He was that voice of reason that everybody went to besides Phil Jackson. And those were the best years of Lakers basketball. Because, you had the Zen master, and he had his form, and he had his whole philosophy all planned out and designed smoothly, and it worked perfectly. And look where he got 3 back-to-back, or was it 2 back-to-back champions? It might have been 3. I don't even remember. But growing up and trying to obtain that kind of information, not just from my friends and not just from, but live TV, if you involve yourself in the proper live TV and the proper things that you want to build, it can happen. It's happening on the forefront, So I'm so passionate. And that's another thing, is I'm passionate in what I do. It's time. Okay, let it go.
Mental toughness. The ability to cope with or handle pressure, stress, and adversity. The ability to persist when times are tough. A refusal to quit when all others give in. There's perhaps no better gift you can give yourself than to develop the strong, undefeatable mind. A strong mind brings with it a strong life. A life that can knock you down time after time, because you know you are strong enough to get up every single time. That mental strength that will see you win in life more than you lose. That mental strength that your opponents fear more than anything, because it is impossible to beat someone who never gives up.
I decide my future because I decide what I do now. No other person can decide my fate, but I can. I can because I control my mind. My mental strength is like no other. And that is why I will succeed. Not because everything will fall in my lap, but because whatever comes my way, I will make the most of. Sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes I don't feel like it. Sometimes it all seems so far out of reach. Sometimes others doubt me. But always, I back myself. I always show my mental strength.
Know your strengths. Know your weaknesses. Use your strengths. Work on your weaknesses. Promise yourself you will be so strong that nothing will get in the way of your mental strength.
greatest obstacle and your greatest strength stare back at you in the mirror every day. The quality of your life depends on which one you feed the most. Which one is stronger? Which one are you feeding? Only you can decide that. Only you can decide what your life is worth.
I don't care whether you are taller, more brilliant, or smarter than me, because I've got mental toughness that keeps me going when the going gets tough. The greatest battle of all time was not fought in Africa. The greatest battle of all time was not fought in America. Neither the greatest battle was the one fought during the First and the Second World War. The greatest battle ever is the battle of the mind. The mind decides everything. The mind decides your future, because it is the mind that decides what you do now. The world can imprison you. Others will try to do everything to kill you and your dream. One thing, they cannot imprison the power of your mind. Don't give up. Don't give in. Be transformed by renewing your mind. When you change your mind, you can change the world.
I decide my future because I decide what I do now.
In the distance, light years from tomorrow, far beyond yesterday. She is watching, heart aching with sorrow. She is broken as she waits, hoping when all is said and done, we learn to love and be as one. Oh, starlight, don't you cry, we're gonna make it right before tomorrow.
welcome back from break. I hope you guys had a good break, and I hope that video might have sent some more light to what we were kind of talking about. And like I said before, not just fearlessness, but mental and physical toughness played a role into it, or role into this. Also, this last half hour or whatever, I want to also say something that most people aren't comfortable talking about. And I know I just, pumped you up and said fear, but sitting at break and contemplating if I should say this right now, and something's telling me I should. So I'm going to. As hard as it might sound and as hard as it might be, it is okay to fail. I can tell you from my past, and most of you don't know me from my past, but I've coached in total for 16 years. The first 10 years of my coaching career, I failed. I lost every single game for 5 years in a row. That was not easy. But that helped me create the mentality of, okay, I lost for 10 years. Now let's win for the next 65 years or 70 years. However long I do this, and I guarantee you I'm going to coach as long as I physically and mentally and possibly can. I will. That's a promise. That's not, or actually, that's a guarantee. It's not a promise. So, with all the hype that we just talked about of, fearlessness, it's okay to fail at what you have to in life to want to get better at life, or get better in whatever situations you need to get into, or get better at getting whatever. It's okay. It's hard to accept failure in anything in life. I don't accept failure, but I still failed to this day. But I put a bigger, brighter light bulb on my successes, because I let my successes overpower my failures. And that's, to me, is very crucial for a person to want to become to the level of success, or to have whatever it's in your job, in your family, in your, in coaching. It doesn't matter. But what matters is the acceptance that you can accept failure, and then want to change it. And then that will also help you with, fearlessness, mental mindset, and all the things we've talked about in the past before. And it all plays in a role into all of this. And just also remember, in whatever it is you want to change, sit back and you look at the bigger picture in life. I want you guys to find a way, or whatever the picture that you're painting might be, sit back and tell yourself, how, if I change these two things, is it going to worsen or better my life, or better my current situation? Because some things aren't always life. It could be it could be a job. I don't know. I don't know your personal situations, but there's a lot of things you need to want to reflect on. Another big thing that plays a role into all of this is reflection, self-reflection, and like I've always said, reflect on who you involve yourself around. And I'm going to keep it to this, and being the social media community, I'll just put it in those words. I have really started to use that terminology of, be careful who you involve yourself with or include yourself with, because there's a lot of other, not individuals, but other things that try to interfere with your own personal beliefs, or your own personal outlook, or your mental state of mind. So even on social media, not even in person, people try to rip through you, pull you down. Don't let it happen. Be cautious on what you share, what you like. What it happens, and the people that want to come after you will come after you. But mental toughness and mental fearlessness will take over and override that, and help you conquer your new goals in life. And I won't but I feel it's appropriate. But I won't get into that. But I want to let you know, for the ones that don't, my very own producer of this show has conquered a new goal, and he's going to kick ass and he's going to accomplish it because he's going to change his mindset to not want to do it anymore. And that's all. I'm going to leave that. But I felt that it was good to say that, and I'm going to let you all know he's conquering new things. He's conquering new journeys. So me being here in California, I'm changing people's lives in, Massachusetts. I can do it all over the world. This is what I do. I do it for a living. I do it for a lot of different people at a lot of different levels and a lot of different things. It could be personal things. It could be, social media crap. It could be whatever. I do it. This is what I do for a living. I help change lives. This is the whole philosophy behind coming on this network, is to help others before myself. I've always done that. You can ask my mom. You can ask my dad. You can ask, whoever. I've always done that. It's always somebody else's success before mine. I wouldn't be a coach if it wasn't. Okay. I'm not doing this for my limelight. This is for other people to understand what I've been through. And if you all are new here and you don't know my life story, find out my life story. Go back to FFN Radio Network YouTube channel. Go to click the live button and then scroll to where you see Coach's Corner. On the first episode, I talk about, in the first and second episode, I solely talk about my upbringing, my livelihood. So I encourage you all to really go over there, check out those other videos. Also, I want to plug my own little social media plug here. I have become more active on TikTok, and there's a whole nother venue that I'm doing over there. So I encourage you, if you have TikTok, which I'm sure 99% of you in this room do, please go like the Coach's Corner on TikTok. I push messages over there just like I push messages over here, but I bring a different kind of light over there. So there's a whole different side of me over there on TikTok that you'll see that you won't see on this network. But I'm very humbled and blessed to be sitting up in this chair each and every day, each and everything that I do. I'm very grateful that I have built more friends than ever, and I'll never stop making friends. And that's also another thing you guys need to or should understand, is that keep your really close friends close. Keep them close to you because they'll always have your back. And just like the rest of you, I've been in some sketchy situations as far as, livelihood and communities and whatever. But, I go to my core people. I legitimately have a core people that I can turn to, and I can send them a message knowing that, it's going to stay between me and them. And there's a lot of people here that have helped me through the latest in life. And I know people struggle every single day. I'm not sitting here and don't let me fool you that I, tell you what I say. And I don't struggle. I do struggle. I'm a human being. Everybody's human. It's human nature. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to fail. But you have to be willing to and want to accept that. Like I said before, you have to accept failure to get better. If you don't accept your failures, how do you know you're going to get better at something if you don't accept your failures? You have to be woman enough or man enough or human, responsible enough to understand that. If you can't understand that, you can't figure that part of your life, you need to you need to do other things before going to that level. And again, understand everything that I'm telling you does not happen overnight. Okay, this is consistency. This is just repetitive, and it gets boring after a while. It does, guys. I send the same messages to countless teams. Repetitiveness of the same messages, but doing that is played a big role, I believe, in my own personal level of success. It's because I don't waver off of what I want my message to be. My message is my message because it's my message. No one or no other thing is going to, get in the way of my message. So understand that. And whatever your message, you want your message to be in life, live by it, breathe by it, visualize it, trust the process. People can use my hashtags, but I can always tell you those are my hashtags. And I'm sure Several people will say, "Oh yeah, we see those all the time," but that's fine. But it's how you carry those, okay? How you do these things, and that's I mean, I'm not gonna say that's life, but it is. That's life. This is reality. This is practicality. You have to be practical with the current with whatever situation you guys are in, and yeah, I would love to reach out to every single one of you and help every single person in this room. I really do, because I have a passion for doing that, changing lives. I have a passion to help you get on the right track. I really do. I get excited every single day. Um, and people, in here particularly, and I know it's for my best good, but they always ask me why I don't sleep. I don't sleep because I always think of other stuff for the next day before it even happens. This is what I'm going to conquer today. I'm going to conquer getting up. I'm going to conquer kicking ass and doing what I do. And I'm going to send another message today. Every day is a positive message for me. Every day is a keep going. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And that's all we can do. And I know that's a lot of positivity, and people are going to come back at me and say, "Coach, we can't always be that positive." No, you can't always be that positive, but you can strive to be that positive every single day. You can strive to say, "I'm going to stop doing this because it's bad for me." You can, but again, that's mindset. I can't help you. I can give you the tips and tools to change the mindset, but I can't help you want to do change it for you. That's exactly. People saying exactly. Unboxed thoughts. Brother Book, you can pull that comment up if you want, Blazeman, so people can see it. And I really hope I'm continuing to represent myself as much as the positive message that I'm giving you all in anything we talk about. And I'm going to tell you, I want to plug myself really quick and for the next couple of minutes is next week's episode. I have another guest already lined up, signed up, ready to go. Next week episode is going to be just as good as it was 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago when we had the gentleman on who's a broadcaster. This is his partner in crime, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a great show. So I encourage you guys to come back for that. I also encourage you to join in for the next show, Politicking with Mr. B. Go stop by, give him a hello. He's got a great show coming up, so that's always good. And support those ones that support you. Okay, that's another thing too that we have to understand is that if they support you, give back a little bit. You have to give to get a little bit. You do. So I'm really, again, I'm super humbled to be doing this every single week. It helps me get through my week. And at first I was a little bit like, do I have that in me to think of topics every week? Do I have that in me? And it took a little bit. It did. And this is still something very new to me. And I am a person who really does, unless you come up to me and say, "Hey, what are your issues? What are your problems? How are you this? I don't talk about it. I stick to myself the best that I can. I keep it in tight because it's close to me. And I think also too with the whole, let's get back on topic with the whole mental and physical fearlessness. A lot of it, you have to want to gather the information, but at the same time, not expose too much. And I hope you guys are understanding the fact that I will express what I know myself, what I've personally been through myself. That's all I have control over. I can't draw up a scenario for anyone in here and say, okay, I'm put you in the same scenario I was in and expect you to be successful. And I'm talking into a good point because unfortunately, my very first week of summer basketball, I could not attend. I had another event that I just couldn't miss. I had to be there. So why I'm saying I can't draw a silhouette of myself and say, okay, well, my substitute's going to take over and she's going to have the same success as me. Doesn't happen that way. She's learning, she's picking up traits, and she's picking up good habits of what I do, and she's becoming a great coach. But the message can't be sent the same if it just can't. And that was something that I had to cope with, not because we lost, but it was just like, oh, okay, your tools are there, but the kids didn't respond the way they should have, or maybe they did. I don't know. I wasn't there to witness it, but that's an example of the fact that I really try also, not just for myself, not just for my players, but my coaches, that coach with me and that help me out and assist me. And I try to instill a little bit of myself into them so that they can remember if they want to do this without me around, or if they want to go off and be a head coach somewhere else, they have the power and they have the strength and they have the mental capacity to do it, Hello, what's up, Katie? How are you doing, Katie? I'm seeing a couple familiar faces pop in the chat. It doesn't hurt. Yeah, no, it doesn't hurt to be positive. It doesn't hurt at all to be positive. But I know for some people in current situations, or whatever, not even situations, but in livelihood, it can be tough. And if life was easy, we wouldn't be here today. What's up, Jay? How are you doing, Jay? Thanks for stopping by and saying what's up. We would not be here today, and I really hope, like I said, my messages continue to bring some light to some situations. And if you ever have some stuff that you don't want to talk about, live or whatever, my message box is always open. You can find me around Coach's Corner. Type that in Facebook. Type that in Instagram. I have an Instagram channel for the Coach's Corner, so check that out, please, and smash the follow button. But seriously, if there's something that any of you are struggling with, who might want to talk about it elsewhere, we can do that. And I never really, I should say, sell myself that way, but I think I'm going to start doing that more and more, because the more people and the more hearts and the more minds I can touch, I'm doing something right. And, I applaud, I hope he's still in here, Unboxed Thoughts, for bringing me on his show, because he changed every Wednesday of my life, I think, for the rest of my life, to come on here once a week for an hour and try to bring different scenarios and situations that I've currently either gone through or going through, and being able to describe them and hopefully helping someone else, in their life with my message. That's all I'm trying to do, and like I told my producer several weeks ago, and even in the beginning, is for me, it's not about how many views I get. It's not about how many taps I get. It's about sharing my message, somebody going either watching it live right now or going back and watching it 10 years later. Because these are all recorded. They're all posted online. Y'all can catch them anywhere. You can watch them 10 years from now. You can watch them 5 years from now. So positivity is key. And I applaud you all for being in here. Anybody have any particular questions they might want to ask or say? If you do, put them up in the chat. Blazeman will help me orchestrate those out, and we can do that for the next couple minutes. Blazeman, if you have anything, you always know you can pop on and say something if you want. If not, you can stay back and chill. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. What is one thing that takes you from... Well, oh, good question. So one thing from coaching that I use in my daily life. Okay, like one thing I take away from coach. Okay, so maybe what you're saying is one thing I've learned as a coach that I take away and I use in my a schedule. Being on a schedule, being persistent with my schedule. Yeah, a schedule. That's another big important thing to me. I'm very much scheduled out. I have my weeks scheduled out. So that was a good question. Oh man, Snake, you got any good questions or what? I'm still gonna respond to your relationship question. Don't worry about that. We might have an episode about that. I haven't forgotten about that. Yeah, we all love Blazeman for sure. But I think that's it for me, guys. I think hopefully my message got through to you. We can end a couple minutes early, Blazeman, if you're still awake over there. And don't forget to tune in to Politicking with Mr. B. He will be on next. So I will see you guys next week with a guest, and be ready for next week. Please, man.
Feel it until you believe it. I am powerful. I am strong. I am successful. I am abundant. I am rich. I am determined. I am focused. I am disciplined. I am capable of anything. I am a powerful creator. I am limitless. I am. I am. Thoughts are powerful. Thoughts lead to action. Actions over time become habits. And habits lead to long, lasting results.